Please rise in body or in spirit as we call the directions on this eve of the autumnal equinox. We call to the spirits of the east, spirit of air. Be with us as we celebrate the turning of the fall season. Reveal to us your gifts and your bounty. Blessed be. We call to the spirit of the south, spirits of fire. Be with us as we celebrate the turning of this fall season. Reveal to us your gifts and your bounty. Blessed be. We call to the spirit of the west, spirits of water. Be with us as we celebrate the turning of the fall season. Reveal to us your gifts and your bounty. Blessed be. We call to the spirits of the north, spirits of earth. Be with us as we celebrate the turning of this fall season. Reveal to us your gifts of your bounty. Blessed be. You may be seated. When our older son was a toddler, he went through a phase of eating only one food at a time. A week of nothing but fish sticks, followed by 3 days of nothing but peas, followed by 2 days of nothing but apples, and then 3 days of mashed potatoes every single meal, and then 3 days of cheese, followed by 4 days of yogurt with blueberries, 3 days of mixed vegetables which had to be cut up into little squares, just so. Y'all parents remember. Y'all parents know. And then 2 days of just peanut butter. And it would start over. So, being the ever so hyper-vigilant mother I was at that time, I called 3 people. My mother, another mother who already had 3 children, and the pediatrician, in that order. And the consensus among them was, in so many words, so what? Just keep feeding him. And why don't you keep track of everything he's eating across the next month? And when the month is over, give us a call. We think that you will find that across that month, he's actually going to get everything he needs, an actual balanced diet, just not in a way you expect or approve of or recognize. And of course, they were right. At the end of that month, I did see that regardless of what he ate at any given time for how many days in a row across a month, he did get everything he needed. And I wonder if such a thing might also be true for our own lives. How we ourselves get what we need. I wonder if, contrary to our initial or habitual assessments of our lives, that we also may actually be getting all that we need, just not in the way we expect, not in a way we approve of, not in a way we readily recognize. Too often, when we pause to take assessment of our lives, we read it wrong. Here on this eve of the autumnal equinox, this time of equal dark and light, we do well to follow the wisdom of the ancestors, to pause and take measure. And I want to do that in a particular way today. Very often when we pause to take measure of our lives, we tend to focus on the negative side of our tally sheet, or at least start there and sometimes never get off that side. We tend to add up what's wrong, the times we missed the mark, the times where we think we have failed, the times where we feel we have been wounded or fear that we have wounded others. We so often look at those ways in which we believe we have fallen short, missed the mark, disappointed others or ourselves. That's where we see what is missing. And true enough, As the autumnal equinox leads us into shorter days and longer nights until nature turns around that cycle again in the springtime, it's tempting to bemoan this negative side of our tally sheet. It's tempted to bemoan the coming dark, the longer nights, and the shorter days. Culturally, we are conditioned to think of dark as bad, as threatening, as dangerous, as dreadful, as something to be overcome or wrestled with. We forget that just as light gives way to dark, so does dark give way to light, and we won't be in there always. We forget that the dark is where all life germinates. It's where all life finds its strength, finds its nourishment, preparing to emerge and to grow into this world and into this life. We forget that it is within the dark of earth that seeds gather their strength to push up through the soil. We forget that it is within the dark shell of the egg that baby birds' wings are formed. We forget that just as light gives way to dark, the dark gives way again to light. We forget that it is in the dark that all life comes forth. We forget that it is within the dark of the womb that we ourselves are formed and then given into light. We forget that from beneath the dark of warm waters, life on dry land first emerged in the first place. We forget that it is within the cool dark of the mountain caves that great beasts take their rest. We forget likewise that our own bodies, our own minds, our own spirits breathe out a sigh at the close of day, ready to find our solace in sweet sleep in the dark. Truly, dark waits for us, ready for us, not as a harbinger of harm, but as the keeper of dreams. But then, even as the dark is sweet, it must, perforce, eventually come to yield to light once more, the sunrise or the lighting of a flame, that we may wake from dreams in order to learn to live them. And so it is that we find that at the end of the dark we seek, we find the light we seek also, waiting for us. In this time of equal darkness and light, let us find in ourselves that light we seek.
Today's reading is Altars of Light by Pierre Jory, born on July 14, 1946, in Strasbourg, France. Pierre Jory is a poet, translator, and essayist. If the light is the soul, then soul is what's all around me. It is you. It is around you too. It is you. The darkness is inside me. The opaqueness of organs folded upon organs to make light in the house of the body. Thus, to bring the outside in, the impossible job. And the only place to become the skin, the border, the in-between, where dark meets light, where I meets you. In the house of world, the many darknesses are surrounded by light. To see the one, we need the other. It cuts both ways. Light on light is blind. Dark on dark is blind. Light through dark is not. Dark through light is movement. Dark through light becomes, is becoming to move through. Light is becoming, is all we can know. So now, dearly beloved brethren, I invite you all to gather up yourself in your seat and take a deep breath in and make sure that your feet are aligned with the floor. Raise your spine so that it is erect, but you're still comfortable. Perceive an apple and place your chin on your chest and pull your head up. And now when you're ready and feel comfortable, I invite you to put your hands upon your chest where your heart is. And when your hands are on your chest, you're connecting with your inner light. So now I'm going to invite you to picture this little ball of light glowing inside of your chest and getting ever so larger. Now you see it and you feel it vibrating. And as it grows, I ask this light to come out and all of a sudden escape your inner dwelling and connect with all the other altars of light that are within this room. And right now you will feel your cells all bathed in this light. And we send this light now to expand into the room. And we invite now this light to expand this river of grass. And now we send this light over to the Amazon or to wherever it is needed. We are all gathered in this light and we are sending it through, sending our love. And now we see this light expanding all over the globe like a carpet of light bathing our globe. And now this light is extended into the universe. And we are part of the universe as we are stardust. And now I invite you to bring back your light. And you feel this cord, this white silvery cord coming back in, floating back in. Now it's back into the room. It is here. It is among us. It is in the room. And now I invite this silver light of love to go back inside of your bodies. And now, whenever you are in moments of distress or anxiety, remember that this light is in you. It is you. And you can only just call upon it and it's there.
Little light of mine, I will let it shine. This little light of mine, I will let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. At this time of equal dark and light, let us look toward the lengthening nights, not as a lesser time, not as some sign of unworthiness or deficit or disappointment, but as the natural balance offered us by this earthly life. The balance against our long, hot days under the sun, giving way to cool, longer rest. And when our lives are indeed visited with trouble and with trial and with sorrow and with pain and with doubt, let us not consider these the full measure of our lives. Let us also know that when we gaze upon the arc of our whole lives, we are also given an equal measure of light. In this time of equal light and dark, in this land of the forever sun, we can forget that our mother intended us to know balance through her elements, air and fire, and water and earth, east and west and north and south, spring and summer, autumn and winter. In this land forever green, we must take special care to note that the seasons turn at all. But they do. We must offer a keener awareness of the changing and the shadows, and reconsider a welcome of the hope and healing, the solace and the silence we can find in the tenderness of the growing dark. Let us here gathered this morning remember the warmth, the courage, the awakening, the rest, the rebirth we find here in this religious community through faith in something that is both more than us and is us. That we ourselves are woven through with the very elements we celebrate this day, that no burden is too great to bear because we are not alone, and that no blessing is complete until we bring it here to share with those we love. At this time of equal dark and light, my beloveds, may you find the balance you seek within and without. May we help one another to find that balance. May we know the glow within ourselves and help others to find their glow. May we bring that balance to our daily pathways through this earthly life. May we not fear the dark within us or around us, no matter what this bruised and bruising world delivers to our doorsteps of our homes or of our hearts. May we find in our lives and in ourselves an equal measure of light. And may we come to realize that we will get what we need, just not always in ways we expect or approve of or readily recognize. Let's breathe together once more before we sing ourselves back into the world, fortified, renewed, ready for the days to come.